Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel. I'm the founder of Startup CPG, and I'm very excited for this webinar today. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is a popular one. We're talking about Instacart ads, and it is important because I can tell you that the people that I trust most from the marketing perspective are all saying that retail media is still the highest ROI spend from a marketing perspective to drive velocity, and Instacart is the thing that we hear the most. And so I'm really, really glad to have the RMIQ team here, Matt, just explaining it to all of us. So this will be, I think, just really highly educational. I'm also just going to drop the contact info for the RMIQ team here in the chat. So you can email Matt even. It's M, like for Matt, at rmiq.net. That's in the chat here. And so, Matt, I'm going to pass over to you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is very exciting to be presenting to the startup CPG community. I've been doing performance marketing for 16 years now, doing a number of presentations, but most of the time I got to present to other marketers. So now I'm actually presenting to people who can, for whom this is potentially something that have a very, very positive impact on their business. So there will be some real good takeaways from this. I think you will learn a lot. There will be very actionable things that you can do. And of course, we're here to help you with Instacart and all your retail media advertising, should you need that help. So let me apologize. Yes, sorry. Let me jump into what you'll learn today. Very importantly, we'll begin by shifting your mindset about what Instacart is, what Instacart ads are. We'll talk about the scale, and we'll talk about strategies from very basics to the more advanced ones that will hopefully help you improve not only the return on your investment on Instacart, but also increase your sales and generally be more successful. The same sort of tactic strategies are applicable in other forms of media, of performance marketing. So this is we're talking about Instacart, but the takeaways from today's webinar are very, very general. Let me set the scene by talking about a meeting I had in Cannes a couple months ago. I was attending the Cannes Lions Festival, and I had a chance to sit down with VP of marketing of one of the Italian retail giants. And as we were sitting our drinks, this is of course a very accurate representation of how it looked like. As we were sipping our drinks, at one point he leaned in and he said something which completely changed my perspective on how to think about Instacart. And he said, Instacart is not a retailer. Instacart is a media play. And if you think about it, this has very, very significant implications, especially for startups in the CPG space. Because if it's a media play, that means that the rules for every single participant in this media channel are exactly the same, whether you're a huge retail giant or whether you're a startup. If you do things right, if you apply correct strategies, if you know what you're doing, you can get very, very good results, or you can improve the performance of your campaigns. And how much can this performance improve? So here are a couple examples of performance improvements that we saw with our startup clients. Our specialty coffee client, we saw an increase of ROAS from 2.4 to 4.9. Tortilla chips company, 2.2 to 4.3. Natural soda from 1.3 to 3.3. So these are all very, very significant and measurable gains. These are gains of 100% or more. And all these gains in performance also were also accompanied by gains or increases in sales, often by 50%, in certain cases by 100%. how we achieved these gains, well, it was directly linked to who we are as a company, from our background, what we do. So our background is strictly in performance marketing. We apply the rigors of uh, media buying to the world of uh, retail media, essentially. We have 15 plus years of experience. We have a very sort of robust track record from managing campaigns for anyone from Fortune 500 companies all the way down to startups. And we're very technology driven. So we've created our own proprietary technology that essentially takes the learnings, takes the foundations, takes the knowledge that we have and translates it into a repetitive and predictable system. So whereas typically um, agencies would manage optimized campaigns manually, we have automation, we have AI to assist us, to help us do this predictably and at scale. How we help brands, we have a sort of a diverse set of offerings, from activation through optimization management and scaling across multiple retailers. But most importantly, we are not just focusing on management. We are very goal KPI driven. We help our clients increase their ROAS, increase their sales, increase their new to brand, essentially increase their performance. We can be as much as hands-on as our clients want us to be, or we can be very sort of just helping in the background, um, depending on how a particular brand prefers to be working. Um, As I mentioned, we do work across multiple retailers, as I mentioned as well. A lot of the things that we're talking about today apply across media channels. But let me jump into the particular topic at hand, into Instacart, and kind of explain why this should be your primary or your ad platform of focus. So first of all, here's a couple of stats which might be a bit surprising, but really show you the scale and the opportunity that Instacart offers. Um, it is an absolute hidden retail or grocery giant. Hidden because, I mean, it's not a real retailer. There are no Instacart stores. It is a platform, but with the amount of sales that it enables, with the amount of like shopping activity that it enables, it places it at the very sort of top, up there on a virtual number 3 position among US grocery retailers. But what's really, really important is that by not being a traditional retailer, by being, as described, a media platform, it does not have the same sort of restrictions that traditional retailers have. So the playing field is leveled out. You have, as a startup, access to exactly the same resources, the same sort of tactics, technology, et cetera, as your much more established competitors. And I think this is one of the keys to understanding this opportunity. But Instacart, as some of you might know, is not just the platform itself. It also has a ad tech component which powers advertising across specialty retailers. So an investment in learning the Instacart platform can also be translated into advertising on specialty retailers like Sprouts, Thrive, Fresh Market, etc.
When you and just on that last point, when you say it powers the reach, this is just put like Instacart on its own platform doing ads for them? Because I know Instacart also runs like a lot of retailers' websites as well. Are you talking about that, or just about like these are a lot some of the top places you can run ads, and there are a bunch more also.
Yeah, Carrot Ads is sort of the technology platform behind powering Instacart. And they outsource or sell this technology platform to specialty retailers that use it essentially to offer ads to brands that are sold through
On their own sites as well.
on their
Okay,
own
cool.
site.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the platform is exactly the same. The rules are the same, except you're not advertising on sort of the national Instacart, but you're advertising on Sprouts only.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Um, this is probably the most important bit of knowledge of factoid for our startup CPG listeners. For a lot of our clients, 90% of the sales from Instacart ads comes from new to brand clients. 90%. So one of the biggest challenges that established companies and all companies face whilst marketing is they are showing ads to people who would already be buying their products anyway. Now with this, you have uh, incredible efficiency in that 90 cents of every dollar spent goes to acquiring new customers, and those customers stick. Because what we're seeing, this is a little case study here, but what we're seeing is that between 30 and 50% of these first-time purchasers end up being loyal customers. Instacart is a perfect tool for product discovery. You have people who are browsing, who are searching for products. They're very keen on making decisions, and they like to explore new brands. So it's a fantastic tool in that way for to showcase your products to new audiences.
And I've definitely heard that challenge before also of like, oh, like, everyone says it's just the highest ROAS, but for me as a shopper, I can be on the platform and it's like showing me an ad for the product that I always buy anyway. So like, aren't I just cannibalizing my own thing? Because it's a little like, sort of if you sponsor your own Google search results also like, no,
Yeah,
I was looking for that anyways. But I think, yeah, this is a pretty powerful data point that you're showing here, which is, um, saying that basically it's 90% really are new to the brand, like haven't bought it before, right?
up to 90%, of course. No, it's not, we cannot promise or nobody can promise it's going to be 90% each time, but um we saw examples of, brands being able to grow their sales via Instacart 5 times just by switching on advertising. And most of those, so, your baseline without
Hmm.
advertising is people who recognize your brand. All that comes from advertising is essentially net new. So it is an extremely, extremely powerful for product discovery.
Okay, cool. So it's almost not like that would be a general Instacart number. It's like you guys know how to do that. You know how to get up to 90%.
Of course, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, we of course help get it to that level, and it depends on your brand strategy as well. I mean, if you prefer to focus on optimizing for this number versus, let's say, sales or ROAS, then we can definitely help optimize for this particular metric. Okay. So um, we've explained a little bit about what Instacart is, who we are, and what we do, and the results that we achieve. So um, get um, let's get into a little bit about Instacart ads. First, the basics, and then we'll get into the more granular, the more sort of advanced strategies for achieving those results that we have showed at the beginning of the presentation. So first of all, we'll talk about who can benefit, where do ads show up, and the very sort of basics of setting up campaigns. And now, just to be clear, Instacart offers a lot of different ad formats. We're going to be speaking specifically about sponsored product, sponsored search, as you can see on the visualization here. The reason for that is it is the most effective. It comprises probably 70 or 80% of all the marketing dollars that go to Instacart. It's the one that has proven results. And if you're starting out, or if you're a growing brand, then this is the one you should be focusing on. Everything else is sort of complementary, a nice to have, and a little bit risky. I mean, you cannot guarantee the results from the other sort of ad formats that Instacart is offering. So sponsored search, and I'll go into examples in just a second. So first of all, who can benefit? Now, you might be thinking, how do I'm not on Instacart. I haven't uploaded my products there. How do I benefit from this platform? I don't have an account, etc. So Instacart powers or helps with or delivers um, groceries from over 1,800 national, regional, and local retail banners, nearly 100,000 stores available in 50 states. They employ, or they have 600,000 buyers working for them. So essentially, if your product is in any of the stores, any of the retailers that are part of Instacart's networks, then essentially you have the ability to advertise on the platform. If you do not have an account, it's very, very simple. Go in, sign up, and as long, again, as your product is there in any of the stores, you'll be able to get up to start running very, very quickly. A little bit about the ads and where they show up. As I mentioned, we are focusing on the search ads, on the sponsored product ads. There are a lot of other ad types. I wouldn't worry about those at the very beginning, or when you're focusing on performance, on driving sales or driving ROAS or driving new to brand customers. These are the formats, or this is the format that delivers the results that you really should care about. And those are the ad formats, or this is the ad format that concentrates probably 80% of all the ad spend on Instacart. So your sponsored product ads show up in various different places during the consumer journey within the Instacart platform. While browsing, searching, in the shopping cart, homepage, search, post checkout, in your items, etc. You have the ability to showcase your product based on keywords, based on behavior, based on past shopping patterns, etc. And the basics of getting started with Instacart are also very, very basic, very, very simple. It's getting the initial sort of campaigns created. You don't have to have much experience with advertising or online advertising at all to be able to figure it out. It's really quite simple. The first thing you need to do is define your campaign objectives. The second thing is Instacart offers two types of campaign setups, automated or optimized, as they say, manual, which you basically do everything on your own. You can set your target ROAS, so we can basically tell Instacart, okay, I want ROAS 4 or ROAS 5, and this is what you should deliver. Then you go through a naming convention. I mean, you set up an ad group in which you place products. And that's really it. So in this very sort of basic implementation, very basic setup, you could do this quite quickly. and get this up and running, which a lot of the clients which I showed at the beginning, this is what they had running for a number of years, kind of just running on auto, um, getting some results, but not getting the optimal results that this platform can provide.
Maybe you'll get into this, Matt, but what do you recommend on some of these options like optimize versus manual? Are those like advanced options? And unless you're, you guys, you shouldn't mess with that too much. And like, what about reach versus engage, acquire? Like, how do you really know what to check?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what I'm going to get into in this following part of the webinar. Um, the um, these initial options, reach, engage, acquire, maximize sales, are a way for you to tell essentially Instacart algorithms what you want to achieve. They have some automatic optimization that happens in the background that helps you achieve that goal. So they look at the various metrics that are being reported on and try to get your campaign to or sort of focus on those particular goals. So when you think about from a reporting point of view, I mean, you see how much money you spend on a given campaign and what results it delivered. And then based on which strategy you choose, um, it will try to optimize or try to get those specific KPIs to that um, according to the strategy that you have chosen. In most cases, if you're just sort of starting out trying to figure out, if this can work at all, if you don't want to spend a huge budget, you just want to see what it can deliver, you probably want to go with maximize sales. That is the most important bit. Um, and this will um, allow you to essentially see if you can acquire new customers through Instacart. I've also forgot to mention that picking the different campaign objectives also shows you the different ad formats that are available on Instacart. So for example, if you pick reach, which is essentially showcasing your brand to as many Instacart shoppers as possible, not necessarily tied to any sort of performance metrics. So you're just basically showing your like a banner with your product or like a banner ad without any guarantee of anyone actually clicking on it. It will show you the relevant sort of ad formats related to banner ads. When you get into maximize sales, you'll notice that it will only have that one particular ad format that we're talking about, sponsored products. That is the only ad format, again, that guarantees to deliver these sales, the results that you're looking after, that you're looking for. And when it comes to these advanced tactics, I will go through them now. And then I guess you'll be able to judge if this is something that you'll be able to venture in yourself, or if you'd prefer the help from, I guess, specialists like us. So the meat and potatoes of our presentation here, the four-step guide to really getting the best that you can possibly achieve out of Instacart ads. And we've broken it down into 4 steps, which again are very sort of universal, very applicable to any type of performance marketing that you would be doing across any platforms. But this is very much tailored to Instacart. So first of all, it boils down to the correct campaign architecture. I've mentioned in the previous in the previous section that Instacart offers automated campaigns. These are good for a start, but they will never deliver ultimate performance. I've mentioned that you have the ability to show basically set a target ROAS for Instacart, which it will optimize to. Now, unfortunately, that does not really do all that much. So it's a target which Instacart very often does not does not reach. And the reason why these automated campaigns cannot basically deliver those superior results is that you are competing when creating these automated campaigns, you're competing against all the other automated campaigns that are on Instacart as well. And because Instacart cannot favor one brand versus the other, the results have to be balanced. There's a kind of reversion to the mean where the results should be good enough for you to continue, but never superior, never any sort of in no way better than other sort of brands in the same category running the same types of campaigns. An additional problem of automated campaigns is that there is a high percentage of the budget that is being spent on testing various different keywords, different searches, etc. From our experience, 25 to 30% of all the clicks generated by these campaigns generate zero sales. So they go to underperforming or sort of testing discovery keywords, and your budget gets wasted on irrelevant clicks. So that's step number one: ditch auto and focus on the manual campaign setup that Instacart Ads offers. Step number two: granularity. Granularity is the key, is the foundation behind all performance marketing campaigns. The more granular you get, the more control you have over your campaigns, the more ability you have to optimize to the metrics that matter. So what we say is always do one ad group per one product. Ad group is the, as I mentioned, this sub-campaign level type setup where you can add products, you can add multiple products to an ad group, but we always recommend to add just one. And the reason why, as you can hopefully see from this screenshot, is that even in a very high performing campaign, so this campaign has a 4.9 ROAS, you have very big differences in products. So one product will have a 3x ROAS, the other one will have 6x ROAS. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put everything in one in one basket, because that does not give you the ability to apply different pricing, different strategies. It does not allow you to really focus on getting the performance on the product level, which makes the biggest difference. So step number two, granularity, one ad group, one product. Step number two, and this is what makes probably the biggest difference, the product keyword matrix. So I mentioned before in the previous slides, different products have different performance. Now, different keywords per different products also have a different performance. So when you have a platform, a media platform, that allows you to set keywords per product and allows you to set bids per keyword, this gives you the ability to really have a very sort of granular targeting strategy where every single keyword is priced appropriately based on the performance of that particular product. And this is, again, one of the examples here taken from the tortilla chip brand campaign. As you can see, even within high-performing campaigns, you're going to have keywords that perform at different rates. So obviously, given that this is a tortilla chip product, the keyword tortilla chips is going to have very high performance. Hence, it deserves a higher bid to essentially maximize your chance of winning the placement for that particular keyword. This is an auction-based model. You are competing against all the other sort of tortilla chips advertisers or tortilla chips brands for that particular keyword placement. Since you know it performs well, you want to maximize your chances of winning it. Unsurprisingly, the keyword crackers has lower performance for a tortilla chips product. It still delivers sales, so it might be worth keeping it, but you don't want to spend much money on it. You want to reduce your bids. You want to reduce your exposure on it. Um, and essentially make sure that most of your budgets go to where the performance is highest versus where the performance is significantly lower. And as you can see also here in the examples I posted, there are bid suggestions from Instacart, which are not necessarily the most optimized towards your particular campaign, your particular product. So in the example on the top, tortilla chips, the suggested bid is 90 cents. We have it set to 94 because uh, this essentially guarantees that we win a higher percentage of those clicks. Um, Crackers, the suggested bid is $4. We have it down to a much lower number, and it probably should be much lower as well than in this example. So this sort of granular differentiation, this granular sort of adjustment is what makes these campaigns successful. So when we're saying, that Instacart is a media platform, this is what we have in mind, this sort of granular level of control that allows you to really get the performance uh, to the most optimal levels.
Matt, where do the keywords come from? Do they give you a list of potential ones? Are you supposed to come up with them yourself?
That's a very good question. Instacart does not provide you a list of keywords at the beginning. Um, so when you're initially starting out, it might be a good idea to create an automated campaign just to get those keywords. Because when you have an automated campaign running, essentially Instacart mm, fills that campaign with keywords which it feels will be most appropriate. As mentioned, I mean, the performance there might not be optimal, but it gives you a starting point. However, if you do not want to do that, then those keywords are, well, quite logical as well, right? So again, looking at the product mix here and looking at some of the keywords provided, um, your top spending keyword for a tortilla chip product is going to be tortilla chips. This is an avocado oil tortilla chips. So avocado oil tortilla chips is going to be the next one, etc., etc., etc. So those keywords match what people would be searching for on Instacart. So there is only a limited amount of variations in which people would effectively search for your product. If we're talking about people who are discovering brands or trying to discover new products, they're going to be typing in the most sort of generic keywords out there.
Okay.
So
And you think it would be similar to like Amazon and kind of Google search or whatever other kind of keywords you've seen from a brand side?
yes, so when we run campaigns across platforms, across Amazon, Walmart, Target, Instacart, we see that the same set of keywords often works across all platforms. Essentially the way people search for these products is very, very similar. So what makes a difference, and this is very sort of product platform specific, is how much you should pay for a particular keyword. Because that again, that depends on performance on a given product level, depends on the competition on a particular platform. And it depends on well, essentially the performance you're achieving. So the set of keywords is roughly going to be the universal, the same across, let's say, Amazon, Walmart, um, other retail platforms that you might be using. The prices is going to be very specific or very sort of granular down to the product level. Yeah. And lastly, as sort of the final step of this optimization and scaling journey, that's where it becomes a little bit more complicated. That's where you need to take out your Excel file, do a bit of math. So you have to look at the stats generated by each campaign. Instacart allows you to download reports. You can do it on daily basis. Probably weekly basis will be much more efficient. And then it's essentially starting with a target ROAS. We typically start with a target ROAS of 4. Set the bids for each keyword on every product level to a price or to a CPC that would reflect the desired ROAS that you want to achieve. So it is an extremely effective tactic, a little bit more sophisticated, but if you're good with Excel, this is something that you can definitely do, and you can definitely figure out how to set. Another important thing, which is part of every single optimization tactic, is of course cut losing keywords. And on Instacart, that's a little bit difficult because Instacart, the platform, for a strange and unexplicable reason, does not allow you to pause keywords whilst they're already in a campaign. So, you see that your budget is being wasted on a particular keyword. You cannot simply pause it and just stop spending money on it. So you have two approaches here that you can do on Instacart. You can either lower the bid on that particular keyword to an absolute minimum, which is 30 cents, which in most cases will minimize the exposure to clicks from that particular keyword. Or if you want to be absolutely sure, then essentially you need to recreate the campaign from the beginning, or the ad group from the beginning, excluding that particular keyword. A little note, while pausing keywords is not possible through Instacart's UI, it is possible via our platform. We figure out a way to automate even this bit of the process. So this is one advantage that you have by using the technology that we developed versus Instacart's own.
So just to summarize some of the kind of top tips that you're giving people, if you're just getting started, you can go in and sign up on their website. You could run maybe one of those automated ads, which then will give you a report that you can download with all of the keywords that it thinks would apply to your product. And then you can go back in and start setting up manual campaigns. You should set up ad groups for each product at once, and then go in and really look at the ROAS and the bids and just start adjusting those basically for what really is going to pay off for you.
Exactly. That's a very, very good summary. So the initial step, the initial sort of the basic setup, will get you a decent result. Switching back, sort of going back to the very early slides, all this initial performance, these initial numbers were achieved through automated campaigns. So it works, it delivers, it will get you sales, it will get you, it will
You
get
mean
you,
the, sorry, the like 2.4 and 2.2, that was
yeah,
through automated. Okay.
exactly. That was through automated. That's the tactic that a lot of brands, which don't have a dedicated performance marketing team, they kind of set and forget, and it runs. It delivers the sales. It delivers the sales consistently. There is some ROAS. It's not losing money, but again, it's not fully optimized. So this is what you get with auto, and when you want to get to those 4.9, 4.3, 3.3, as we're showing here, you need to really apply those advanced tactics that I've described. And yeah, this is over here. So now, if this sounds like a lot of work, it is. Um, it is definitely the initial manual setup process is complicated and time consuming. And the subsequent optimization does take quite a lot of time as well. I mean, it delivers results, but it is time consuming. And fortunately, this is where we step in with our services, with our technology, with our experience. Uh, we help with, or our platform helps with campaign optimization through automated adjustments. We allow for multi-retailer setups. The retailers that I mentioned, the Sprouts, Thrive, etc., you can all set it up through one uh, one one setup versus one campaign setup versus multiple. Um, we help with keyword harvesting, we provide real-time reporting, and we ensure that as little of the budget gets wasted as possible, and that brands achieve the most optimal results that are possible through the Instacart platform. So to finish things off, we'd like to offer the uh, participants. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation on Instacart ads. As a thank you, we are going to offer qualifying eligible brands $500 of ad credit through our ad platform to either start your journey with Instacart ads or to help you achieve those results, which, as I mentioned, are possible um,
Matt,
with.
what's a tip? What's like a range for what you guys like? If some probably a lot of people here want to work with you after seeing all this, like what does it typically cost to get this gang of retail media pros
Well, thank you very much for that question.
with with top tier facial hair?
We do have top-notch facial hair in the team.
Let's just all take a moment to acknowledge Jim's mustache. Congratulations, Jim. Okay, now please answer the question.
Although Peter's beard is quite epic as well. So,
It's
but,
yeah.
so I think this is one of the more attractive parts about our model is that we do not charge a fixed fee. We only charge on improved performance. So only when we deliver on the improvements that we we are promising. Only when we increase sales or we increase ROAS is when we take a payment. It's a full-on success fee, and it's a percentage of the essentially of the ROAS generated.
Got it. Okay, so just basically you'll look at if like off the total ROAS. So if it would be an improvement, or if they're not even doing anything on Instacart yet, then you would just kind of set a target or something.
Yeah, so we typically take 10% of the profit generated from on a given campaign. So let's say you spend $1,000, you generate $5,000 worth in sales. Your profit on that campaign is $4,000. We take 10% of that, so our fee for generating $5,000 in sales will be $400.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And a few people have asked, do you do other platforms also? Like people have mentioned Amazon and Whole Foods and a couple others.
We do, yes, yes, yes. Um, Amazon, yes. Whole Foods, yes. Target, Walmart, um, Chewy, as we're coming up to Super Zoo, which I hope I'll be able to see some of you guys at. Um, Kroger's, Albertsons, Meyer, we cover the whole lot.
Sorry, I muted myself by mistake. Okay. Somebody asked about DoorDash. Someone said GoPuff. Um, okay. Did you say DoorDash? Did you say DoorDash?
So DoorDash, we haven't worked with DoorDash quite yet, and the reason for that is that they have limited access. As far as I know, DoorDash at the moment offers only managed services. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but we have not worked with DoorDash yet. We hope to begin very soon, but so far they've been sort of a limited availability, or sort of a, you could say, a private beta type setup.
Okay, cool. And I'm just reminding everyone that yes, the emails are here, or I just pasted into the chat here if you want to email any of them, or Matt. Matt is m@rmiq.net, like retailmediaiq.net. And I know there are a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to try to get to a couple more of them, but if you guys have a really specific one, probably I bet anybody on this page will be very happy to get back to you, and you can pick whoever's facial hair you like the most and for who you send the question to. Okay, and then a couple others that grabbing here. People are talking about a little bit like A/B testing different things. Like, can I do a mix of optimized, like automated ones and manual? Or like, hey, if I set up different ad groups, are my products going to like compete against each other if I'm, bidding for the same search terms?
Um, A/B testing, yes, it's always a good idea. Um, uh, we That depends really on the scale that you have, right? I think one of the challenges that you might face is, if especially if you're a startup, is that you might not have enough data to do a proper A/B test. I mean, if you're a national brand, if you're stocked across, thousands of retail locations, then absolutely this is a great strategy. You want to run a comparison. Obviously, that means that you will have to set up everything multiple times to run a proper A/B test. But if you have the scale, then absolutely. What we're finding with a lot of our clients is that if they're spending, let's say, up to a couple of $100 per day, um, there simply might not be enough data across, or yeah, sales data across the different products that they have, once you break them down, to have a very sort of relevant A/B test. So yes, if you have the scale, absolutely run it. If you do not, then I would be cautious, because well, you might get, statistically irrelevant data. In that case, I advise the multi-step approach. You start with the automated, you get some performance data, and then you start the manual.
Okay, cool. Somebody else asked about running retailer specific campaigns, which I don't think you can do, right? It just sort of is going to run anywhere that your product is available, any retailers that are stocking it.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
Yep.
Um, Except the only exception is those specific retailers which I mentioned and on
That run
one
the carrot ads like
yes, yes,
sprouts.com.
yes, exactly.
Is that a different process if you want to go and set up the ad like on Thrive Market website or Fresh Market website or something, or it's all done through that same platform and you have a chance to choose those?
No, so well, if you're running it through our platform, then essentially you have the ability to choose those. If you run generally through Instacart, you have to have a separate account for Sprouts, separate account for Thrive, separate account for the Fresh Market, separate account for your general Instacart. And now the interface is exactly the same, the options are exactly the same, but you will have to recreate the campaigns all over again. And essentially, if you want to check and manage, you will have to log from one account to the other. It's not unified.
Uh,
Um,
And
one
just, I just want to make sure that's clear to everybody. Like we talked about this before, but Instacart is the technology that powers a lot of these retailer websites. They're like, okay, great, Fresh Market, like let us just handle your website for you, the whole shopping experience. People can do it on your website, but it's powered by our technology. So that's why like you could just run an ad on freshmarket.com, but you would have to go and create just a specific account just for the Fresh Market website, unless you're going through RMIQ, because in their platform you can just make those kind of options.
Correct. There was one. Since somebody asked very specifically about running on particular retailers, one tactic which again can be used. It's a little bit of a hack if you have the scale, and we are applying it for some of our bigger or more established clients. Is when you have SKUs or products which are specific to a particular retailer, you can run campaigns for those, and you're going to be certain that all the sales happen in those particular retailers. So this is one way of kind of like bypassing this Instacart limitation. But unfortunately, they neither share the data of where the sales actually happened, or they don't allow you to target or to create campaigns for specific retailers.
I gotcha. So, and just to everyone there, I think there are some more questions about this. Someone was asking, like, oh, so do I have to create separate accounts to advertise across multiple retailers? In general, no. Like, if you just want to, pick like the Instacart app that you open on your phone, if you want ads just to run on that Instacart app, you just create the one account and they're going to run through there. If you're like, I only want to run ads on sprouts.com website, that would be where you would create a separate thing. And then also just because in my experience when I was running a brand, it actually took a little bit of time for some of the retailers to have the product actually be available through Instacart. I would say it was very quick for Sprouts. Like once we got on the innovation set in Sprouts, it was up there very quickly, which was great because we really wanted to drive stuff through Instacart for Sprouts, try to do well on the innovation set, try to get the reset, that kind of stuff. And then there were other retailers where it just took a while. And like we would ask like, hey, can you get this on Instacart? We would ask Instacart and they're like, no, the retailer has to add you to a data feed. And so like some of the small ones, it was a little hit or miss, but for the big guys, it'll happen more quickly, right, Matt?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, they try to update the catalogs at least once a month. So that should be the maximum amount of time that you would have to wait for your products to become available. Typically, it's much quicker. Yeah, for the national retail chains, it's typically a weekly thing. So.
Okay. And then just for somebody else asked an interesting question, which is like, how much of a particular retailer's sales are Instacart? And I bet we probably don't know that for every retailer, but I know you said at the beginning of the presentation that, 6% of all, I think national grocery sales are Instacart. And if you like, and they don't do every single retailer. So I don't know. Probably it's like for the retailers that are on Instacart, what, maybe like 10 to 30% or something like that.
Oh, well, we would have to like dive deep into that math. It gets a little convoluted because there's double reporting, right? Because Instacart is
Yeah.
essentially somebody going to the store and buying buying the product, which for the particular retailer would be an in-store sale, while for Instacart, obviously, an online sale. So um, hard to say exactly,
Yeah.
but it is a very, very significant and growing amount. So 20% of all the grocery sales, online grocery sales, go through Instacart. I think it's approaching $50 billion in GMV this year. So and growing uh, significantly every single year. So it is a huge amount.
Okay, great. There are a bunch of questions, guys. Honestly, we're not going to get to all of them. I'm sorry about that, just because of the number of people that we have on here. But definitely reach out to these guys. They will answer any question that you have, I'm sure. So you see all the emails here. Maybe just to like recap, then if you're a new brand and you're getting started, or you are a more established brand, but you haven't done a lot on Instacart, obviously people can reach out to you guys and you'll be happy to chat with them. If they want to do this on their own, probably, in my opinion, any time is a good time to get started on Instacart. If you are trying to drive velocity and have a good story at retailers, seems like most people agree this is maybe the first thing that you actually want to do. The highest ROI in general in marketing is probably Instacart. And so people can go on, create an account just on the website, which we showed in the deck, and you guys will get the slides emailed out to you, and basically run a quick automated campaign, get those keywords, and then go in and start bidding on stuff. And that's if you want to do this yourself, which some people will do. Some people want to be scrappy, and basically that should get you the data to start playing with. You just need to make sure you're going back in and really spending time adjusting the bids, going hard on the ones that you want that seem like they're paying off, lowering the bids on the ones that don't really seem to be generating sales. Um, is that a good way to kind of summarize everything?
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of summarizing. I'm very impressed by the way you summarized it. Thank you.
I love these webinars. Honestly, for me, this has been really interesting because I just had always, I don't know, I wasn't ever the person who actually did the Instacart ads. So I feel like now I actually have a good understanding. Like if I wanted to go and do it myself, I would not do it as well as you guys, but I could at least like get behind the wheel and, change some dials. So I really want to thank Matt and the RMIQ team. I hugely encourage, if you want to know more, reach out to them. They will be very happy to talk to you. And just one last time here, I'm going to paste their website and Matt's email into the chat here. And you guys will get this whole recording emailed to you, but you can also subscribe to our YouTube to get it there. And we will send you guys out the deck as well, which will be a good reference for you all. So, Matt, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Any words to end on?
Um, as you said, the best day to get started on Instacart ads was yesterday. The second best day is today. We are very happy to help you out with that. But if you want to do it yourself, I think I provided a vast amount of knowledge for you to be able to get going.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Matt, thank you so much. Thank you to your whole team for all of this help, and thank you to everyone who attended for all the questions. And we will see you guys on the Slack. All righty. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.